Hello, how are you? It's Sue Maddox from maddoxcreations.com here with you today, and we're going to have a little bit of a closer look at our Stampin Blends, our alcohol markers, and our Stampin Write markers. I've had a couple of questions the last week or so about the difference between the two and people deciding what to get. So I thought I'd do a little quick, well, actually no, a little bit of a longer video today and show you what we can do with these great products. So let's get a start here. Okay, so here we've got them. We've got our Stampin Write markers. Now these guys have a water-based dye ink. They've got a dual tip, so one end, and you can see when you have a look at this, this is just a little tip if you always find that you're opening the wrong end. This end's got like a thicker line here, and that shows you that this is the broad tip, and that's great for colouring and doing a little trick I'll show you in just a moment. And then the other end with the little narrow line there is the fine tip, and that's great for writing, so you can have nice coordinating writing with your project. Okay, so that's these ones. Now they come in packs of 5 with the in colours. They come in a pack of 10 with each colour family, or if you really like your markers, you can get a whole a little case like this. So it's got 40 of them, and spare spaces down the bottom if you want to store your in colours and things as well. Now you'll notice that with the case, actually it's probably a little bit hard to see from that angle, but we store them horizontally. So we want to keep them horizontal so that the ends don't dry out. So you don't want to stick them up in a container or anything. Just leave them on their sides. Let's pop that over there for a minute. All right, let me show you what we can do, one little trick we can do with our Stampin Write markers. So we can colour with them, and I'm going to show you that in just a moment. The thing that I most like to do with them is if I want to do some multicolour stamping. So this is the little flower from Posted for You stamp set. That's this little guy here. It's a cute little set, I like this one. And I would like him to be pink and green. So I'd like to, we can get a multicolour. If I was using the ink pad, I just need to, here will be the one colour. We can use our markers. It's got that same water-based dye ink that our stamp pads had. So we can go straight and colour straight on him. Let me just zoom in a little bit so you can see a little bit more closely. Oh, and let's pop my glasses on as well so I can see what I'm doing. So we just colour straight onto our stamp, just using that broad end, just using the side of it, not too hard, and we'll just pop a bit of colour on. The tricky bit then is figuring out which bit's flower and which bit is leaf. Alright, so that's all the pink there, I think, is it? No, that might be a bit of flower as well. Let's just grab him as well. Get this little edge of a petal there. And then, so that was in the, these, I'm using the new in colours today, give them a little whirl. So that was Magenta Madness, and now I'm using the Just Jade. So grab out the little brush end, and I'm going to do the leaves now. Leaves and stems. So just using the side of the brush, nice and gently, we'll just pop a bit of colour on. Am I still on screen? Yep. Okay. And voila. Okay, is that a little, let's see if that's a little bit of leaf there. We might make him a leaf, might be a petal, but anyway. All right, now if you've been faffing about there for a little while like I have, it's a good idea just before you stamp it, just do a little of warm breath, and that just re-moistens the ink. And then make sure we're on for this bit. Oh, little stamp, and there we go, we've got our lovely multicolour image. So I just love that technique. That's the best thing I think that you can do with your Stampin Write markers. Now I've got the coordinating punch here, so I'm just going to punch that out. I love this little rectangle. I can see already that it's going to be a favourite. There we go. And now I've got my little piece. Let's just come out a little bit wider there. Back to my, oh, don't want to show all my mess. Okay, and I'll just show you the card. Now I am going to make one of these in a little while if anyone wants to stick around for a little bit longer, but here's one. So I just had my little stamped image there. I've just embossed one as well in a coordinating colour. I grabbed a little piece of the matching DSP and another panel for the background. And then, I don't know if you can see, I've just embossed as well that base card with the subtles folder, just so it's not quite so plain. So there's our little finished card there. So that's quite a cute little thing that you can do with your Stampin Write markers. Now, let's have a look at the Stampin Blends. So these come in sets of 2, and you get a dark and a light version of the shade. So this is the Magenta Madness. We've got the dark one and the light one. And these are alcohol markers. So we need to stamp with our Memento ink. I'm using the flower today from Prize Peony. I'll show you a finished card I've got in a minute that uses this one, but just for this little example today, I'm going to use this small one down here. I love peonies, they're gorgeous. All right, now I would recommend that you use your Stamparatus for this. It's quite handy. So pop your, they've disappeared off screen. Where am I? Let's come back this way a little bit. So then, okay. Because I found that it did take me a couple of goes sometimes to ink this up. So pop a little bit of ink on there. I think my Memento ink needs a little bit of re-inking actually. Put off to the side. And I might get my chamois because I have got black ink everywhere there. And knowing me, I'll get it all over my project. Oh, let's have a little wipe up. Now, the stamp. And the good thing about using the Stamparatus for this is that if you're not happy exactly, oh, see, I missed a little bit there, you can just go again. And you've got your magnet in place, so it keeps it all together. And especially on that big flower, I found I needed to go a couple of times just to get him well stamped. Oh, I've missed it again. Hang on. What have I done there? That's better. Okay, so then I've got my image all ready to go. Okay, let's pop that out of the way. And here's a couple I prepared earlier as well. And then I'm just going to show you the difference in colouring with the markers and with the alcohol markers. So Stampin Write marker first. Let's grab this one out. And this is sort of just really more like colouring with a texture. So you're just basically using the, you're just getting sort of that one layer of colour. So I'm going to use the Magenta Madness. Actually, I'll show you the picture. Let's see if I can, will it flick over here? I don't know. What will it do if I do that? No? Oh, yeah, solo. Okay. So this is the picture that I found online of a beautiful peony that we wanted to go with. Let's see if I can go back to that. Yes. So I'm sort of basing my colours off that today. So colouring, I'm just getting that one layer of colour. I'm using the shimmery white cardstock today. It does have that tiny, tiny bit of a shine to it, which is quite handy, I think, too, for some of these colouring things. Okay, now you get the idea there. So we're just basically getting that one layer of colour. Now if I try and go over that, I don't know, other people might be able to, but I just find it sort of ends up a little bit blotchy, and I can already feel that the paper is thinking about peeling. Just gets a little bit too moist, I think, if you're trying to work too much on that colour. Works well if you just want to get that single layer down. Okay. Bit of a colour. This is a beautiful colour, this Magenta Madness. I like this one. Oh, I hope you can hear me. Oh, hi, Michelle. How are you? Oh, don't look at my colouring, Michelle. You're the colouring expert. Oh, okay. All right, so there we go. We've got our almost there. I think I'm going slightly out of the lines because I'm rushing. But actually, you can cut this out. There's a die that matches, so it probably doesn't really matter too much, actually. All right. There we go. Now, we're going to have some yellow for the centre. I think the yellow in that picture was a little bit brighter, but just because I've got them out, I'm going to use this Bumblebee colour. It's more of a mustardy yellow, I think. Probably Daffodil Delight would be better. Okay, so there's my one. So you can get a quite nice colouring with that one. Oh, hi Mary, how are you? Good to see you. And let's have a go now with our Stampin Blends. So with these ones, these are alcohol markers, so you can create highlights and shadows. You can get sort of a 3D colouring effect. And now, hang on, am I light or dark? Let's have a look here. Light. I usually start with the light. And you can just keep working that colour in over and over. It doesn't pill your paper. Yeah, do make sure you've got something underneath, because you'll see it will go through there, so you don't want to mark your surface. Yes, I'm sure you're in exam marking procrastination mark mode there, Michelle. All right, am I still on screen? I'm just as likely to be sitting here colouring away and moving off camera. This is very bright, this pink. Okay. Now, you're not supposed to do the whole flower here in one bit, because we're supposed to just work in one little bit at a time. If you want an expert colouring video, probably watch someone else. This is for the novice colourers out here, because I just really don't 100% know what I'm doing. I just bang it on there and we'll just see what happens. So I like to start with the light and then just add a little bit on these shadowy areas with the darker colour. And the nice thing about this stamp is that it's sort of got the shadowy parts. You can sort of see them there, and so it sort of helps you know where to put the dark bits, sort of. Okay, so I'm just adding a little bit of dark here, and you can see I can keep going over and over this, and it doesn't yeah, it's very forgiving, doesn't mark the paper. I like to go back then to my lighter colour, and just anything that looks a bit blotchy, I just sort of scribble over it really with little fine marks, and it all blends in and works its little magic, and ends up usually looking quite nice. Okay, so you can see you just keep adding layers of colour. Now the other nice thing, if you go out of the lines with these, is, where is it? Let me reach up here. It's the colour lifter. So you've got the colour lifter, and this sort of, it sort of pushes the colour. So if I do a little, I've gone out a little bit here, if I do a little bit of a scribble here, it will push that colour sort of back in. I tend to, if I do use it, I sort of go around a little bit just in case you can see that wet mark. It does dry and then you don't see it so much anymore. It's more successful with some colours than others, I do find. So some of these dark reds, you won't lift it right off, but you do get a little bit of that. I can also lift a little bit of colour if I want to, if I wanted to leave a few little light patches, but I forgot to sort of do that. You can see those little light bits there, so that can look really effective as well. Just pull off a little bit of colour from a couple of these bits. Yeah, anyway, you get the idea there. So let me pop that back up here. I'm just going to show you a couple of cards that I've done earlier. So actually, let's go these ones first. So this one, which one's which? This one is using the Stampin Write Markers. Hang on, let's go a little bit wider there, a little bit not so wide, sorry. Where are we? Okay, this one's using the Stampin Write Markers. I've just coloured the little flowers. I think the smaller the thing that you're colouring in, yeah, it doesn't make too much difference what you colour with, I think, with those. This one's with the blends, and you can see I've just got a little bit more shading on those petals there. I've been making a heap of these ones with this beautiful jar set. I love the jars. I probably need to make a few without the little sticky up bit, I think, so that I can put them in envelopes if I do need to post them. But anyway, that's a fun one to play with. Now with the other stamp from the Prize Peony, this one was using the Stampin Write Markers, and so I've just coloured it all in with the Blushing Bride, and then I just put a few little dots around of the Flirty Flamingo just to add a little bit of shading there. And then I've used Old Olive on the background there, on the leaves, sorry. Now our background, we've got some beautiful new, what do you call them, background stamps in this catalogue. So I grabbed this stacked stone one that I thought looked beautiful. I've stamped him with Sahara sand, I think it was. Yep, Sahara sand. And I stamped it off once so it was just a little bit lighter. I like to do it on a bigger bit and then sort of, usually I find I've gone crooked somewhere, so then I trim it to the size that I want. And I just did a little bit of sponging around the edges just to highlight those edges a little bit. So that's that one. The greeting there is from this Posted For You stamp set as well. Just wanted a nice little small one. With the Stampin Blends, we've got this one, and that, yeah, just got a little bit more depth of colour in that. So once again, I've used the Flirty Flamingo, and then I've added some highlights with, I think it was Rococo Rose, to add some darker parts, and then back over it with the Flirty Flamingo just to help it all blend in together. So lots of fun. This is a beautiful set just to have a little play with, and very forgiving. Okay, so that is our Stampin Write Markers and our Stampin Blends. Now that is about it for that. If you do want to stick around, I am just going to make another one of those other cards. I usually just do little short videos, but I thought, well, maybe we'll do a little bit of a longer one today and actually make something from Go to Woe. So let's grab out, we had our little piece that we stamped earlier. So I thought I'd do this one in a different colour combo. So let's mix and match, find some colours there. Oh, hang on, let's go back just a step. I forgot to tell you that if you are looking for our Stampin Blends and our Stampin Write Markers in the catalogue, the blends are on page 142 and 143, this colour chart area. And if you go to one of the colour charts, you'll see the bottom row here shows you the Stampin Blends combo packs. And it, so for subtles, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there's eight different colours available in the blends combos, and you get the light and dark in each. There's a couple of other extra ones down here in the basics. The black, the bronze and ivory come as a combo, and then the colour lifter comes by itself. So that's our Stampin Blends. You can find those here. On the next page, page 144, if you're looking in the catalogue. If you're looking in the online store, I've got the link up there. But you'll see we get the packs of markers. So these packs of 10 if you've got one of the colour families, or packs of 5 if you're getting one of the little in colour families, or the great big box with many marvellous markers. It's got 40 colours plus the black. And there's some space in there if you do want to get those in colours. So that's where to find those. Okay, now I am using, let me just find where I've got my catalogue here. Let me find what I am using. It is called Flowers for Every Season. Whoop, this one here on page 148. And that's got some of these beautiful colours that match with our in colours here. So I thought I might pick out one of the ones with a bit of the blue in it for this one. Let's go here. This punch, which I forget the name of, but it's beautiful, like a scallop rectangle one. Okay, so we've got a piece of that, and let's see, what are we going to put that on? I thought I might put it on this blue, but that might be a little bit busy. So that's on this yellow. Oh, that could work. Yeah, let's try that. Okay, and then I'm going to grab some of this Just Jade, and I happen to have a piece here quite handily that I'd already embossed with one of our new embossing folders. So I'm just going to grab a little piece out of that. Let's grab this bit with a bit of a leaf and these nice little flowers. Okay. So this is just a nice set to mix and match with. Okay, oh, I forgot my yellow. Now I'm going to cut that. I'm loving this trimmer. It's I think I'm going to go 7.5 centimetres for this one in height, and we want 14.8 to go right across our card. I've been using this to death and I still haven't changed my blade. It's really cool. Oh, yep, that wood grain one is just beautiful, Michelle, for backdrops. Really nice. There's a couple around, I think, with the wood grain ones in there. Okay, what did I do with that? Okay, now I need a colour. What colour are we going to go? We might go with the blue. I think I've got a little pack of that here. Shimmer back again. Made the most giant mess here. I've got stuff everywhere. Okay, let's just cut it in half first. So cut it at the 14.8 again. Get rid of him for later. And what did I do? 7.5. So I'm just going to make this one 8 centimeters because I only want a tiny little bit to show either side. Let's just check how our colour combo is going here. Let's see if this works. Okay. That and that and that, yeah. Yeah, let's go with that. Okay, now I might put it on, I think I might use a pink base card this time instead of the white. So another piece of that magenta madness. This is a great little pack to get, I think, if you've got the pack of the in colour papers. Hi Lillian, good to see you. And yell out Lillian if you've got any more questions about those markers or blends while I'm here. Oops. So cut at 14.8, we're going to score at 10.5. Make sure I don't mix up the blades. Okay, very nice. How's that going to go? Well, that's a bit busy, but yeah, let's go with that. Okay. Okay, I think we need a bit of an embossing folder. I cleared off a little shelf just to my right here. Well, actually, I'm filling it up with rubbish here, but anyway, just so I can zip my big shot over and back, and it's been great, much easier. Now, I think I left the Subtles one in here. This is just my go-to one, I think. If you only had one embossing folder, I would totally get this one. It's just nice just to add that little bit of texture to a card. Oops. Oh, I did Lillian, so you might need to go back. Once we've finished, you can go back to the recording, and the first half is all about the blends and the markers and what the difference is between the two and which ones do what you're wanting them to do. Okay, so there we've got that nice little bit of texture. Just looks much nicer, doesn't it? Okay, let's start gluing. Now watch me get glue everywhere. I'm a terrible gluer. Okay, whoops, see, big blob. We didn't want a big blob. Let's spread that out a little bit so we don't get our paper walking. I do like using the liquid glue because then you just get that little couple of seconds of wiggle room just to yeah, just to help out a little bit. Okay, am I still on? Oh, yeah, there we go. You always end up with splodgy bits of glue everywhere. We'll pop a little bit more, that's better. I always think while you've got stuff out, may as well make a little set of cards. That embossing folder, Lillian, is called Subtles or Subtle. You can't really tell in the catalogue what it is because it's just such a subtle pattern that it's a little bit hard to see, but it just gives a nice little tiny bit of texture to the card. It looks beautiful. Okay, there's our base. Now this is the bit that I had a few goes at when I was making that earlier card, because getting these all lined up straight is the tricky bit. Which way do we want to do them? Let's go, should we go that way? I think he's upside down. Yeah, I just love this paper though. It's beautiful for mixing and matching. What have I done with my dimensionals? And how good is that punch? I think you could just make a whole bunch of nice things just with 3 nice rectangles lined up. Thanks, Jenny. So quiet here today with just John and I home, the kids at school. I'm back at work tomorrow, so John will have the place all to himself. Actually, I do need to keep an eye on the time, don't I? Oh no, way early to remember to go and actually pick them up again. All right, let's see. Now, I think, let's have a look at my other one. I could measure, but I'm not really a measury sort of a girl. All right, let's pop him here. I'm also a stick-on crooked sort of a girl too. And then just test out, this is what I did with the other one. I actually had to peel this one on and off a few times before I got it where I wanted it. But I just wanted a fairly sort of even space either side and then just line them up. I would stick that one on and then even it up with the middle, but I know I'll end up with them going on a little downward slope or something. Okay. So this is just one of those sets of papers. Because it's got all 5 of those in colours in it, you grab some of that and grab the in colours and you can just mix and match. There's so many different patterns, and some are sort of just a nice pattern with just the one colour, which is great for backgrounds and things. And then you get some of these beautiful, I just love all those multicolour ones with, yeah, you got lots of the colours in them. So beautiful, beautiful set to mix and match and make. I think they'd be nice on those 3 panel cards I was doing. I'll have to try some of those. All right. Oh, look at that black thumb. Better watch out. I'll get a big thumbprint on it halfway through. There we go. And lucky last. And then just a little greeting to finish it off. I always like to see, yeah, a card and then see a different variation on it. Try it out with a different colour scheme. I'll have to try it with a completely different set soon, see how that goes. All right, have we got this up the right way? I'm not sure if there's an up and a down. That looks pretty up. Oh, if I moved off screen, I forget I've got a camera. There we go. Now we just need a greeting. What colour for the greeting? Well, I might go with the blue, I think. So let's grab that out. That is, I love this colour, Misty Moonlight. Hopefully I've got some white around. Yes, I do. And I think I put my greeting stamp around here somewhere. What did we do with him? Oh, here we go. So this is the thank you, which is out of, I just wanted a little skinny greeting. So I've just grabbed this one. It's out of the Boho Indigo, which is in that medley set. The flower papers are just beautiful, aren't they, Jenny? I agree. They're really, really lovely. I love these really multicolour ones, just beautiful. All right, so a little tap of the ink on there. Always these little skinny ones. I always find I have to, oh no, that one came out okay. I think, to be honest, I think I put my stamp on there a tiny bit crooked, but all right, oh, wrong punch. So I love this little narrow punch. I forget the name of it, but with the little flag ends, we'll get him in the right spot. So you do have to be careful when you put the photopolymer stamps onto the stamp set. If I was organised, I'd just peel that off and then put him on a little bit straighter. But anyway, we'll just go with that. Near enough is okay for me. And a little glue dot. Where is my little glue dot tool? Little picky things. Take your pick. I love this end here. Where are we? This end here of the take your pick I use all the time. Don't use the other bits so much, but this bit's very good. Okay, and let's just pop him on. Are they straight? Don't look too closely. There we go. And we do have somewhere here the little sets of in colour enamel dots. Now I'm going to say these are good because they match, but I have heard a few, I don't know, I'm not sure these are 100% playing nicely. They are sometimes finding that we're getting the clear little bits are lifting off. You can pop them back on with a little dot of glue, but I don't really 100% like to give these a big plug if they're not quite behaving nicely. Having said that, mine have been quite good. Okay, so there's a little matching dot just to tie it all together, and we're all done. I think my camera's having a sag there. Let's pop him back a bit straight. Okay, there we go. So there's our original. Actually, I think I like the pink one. Let's go a little bit zoomy so we can see them side by side. A couple of little different variations there. You could just, yeah, I'll have to try it with a different set of papers next and see how that comes up. So there we go. And our 2 from earlier were here. And then hopefully I'll go finish off my other little bits of colouring and pop these onto a card, and I'll pop that on the blog later. Oh, glad draws are working too. Mine seem to be working very well too, so maybe it was just one little batch. Okay, let's zip out of that, go back over to here, get rid of this silly thing that likes to sag down. What was I saying? Oh, glasses off. That's about it from me, I think. So thank you very much for sticking around there. If you've got any questions about our Stampin Write markers or about our Stampin Blends, give me a holler. I'd definitely recommend with the Stampin Blends, don't be intimidated by them or by all those fabulous fabulous colouring ones out there. I just go for slap it on. They're very forgiving. You just have a little play around and get that nice depth of colour. You don't have to know what you're doing at all. And it comes up nice. So good luck with those. Take care, and I will catch you later, maybe Friday. We'll see how we go for Friday. I've got my next day off then. All right, take care and happy stamping. Bye.